As the transport pod's engines breathed their last, it settled onto Earth's strange terrain. Inside, Nsari's delicate lavender fingers traced the viewport, dark tendrils of hair framing her face as she gazed at the foreign vista. Beside her, Tlexa remained stoic, her jaw locked with the same fierce independence that led to their banishment from Kella Prime. "Cultural realignment," she scoffed, the Council's words still stinging. "As if we are flawed." Tlexa's vibrant violet eyes ignited. "There's empowerment in forging our own destinies, rather than being mere genetic resources for their schemes." The pod door glided open, unveiling a figure on the platform. Eli Morgan stood, hands clasped, wind-blown hair, sporting what humans deemed a friendly smile. To Corellan eyes, it resembled a predator's bared teeth. "Welcome to Earth," Eli greeted, extending a hand. "I'm Eli, your cultural ambassador." Nsari recoiled instinctively, her physique tensing, poised for confrontation. Among her kind, physical touch signified conflict or procreation, never a casual, tender gesture. When Eli's fingertips grazed hers in a gesture he meant as a greeting, she flinched as though scorched. "My deepest apologies," she uttered rigidly. "Corellan do not engage in unsolicited contact." Eli's demeanor shifted, displaying authentic empathy rather than umbrage, perplexing both women. For Corella, reactions were meticulously orchestrated, revolving around dominance and social order. This human's sincere solicitude was truly baffling. "Seemed improbable. Of course," he stated. Lowering his hand casually, "I should have investigated your traditions more thoroughly. Would you prefer I keep a distance?" Tlexa observed him cautiously. His voice contained no taunts, no assertion of power. When she remained silent, he merely nodded and indicated a transport. "Your accommodations are ready. I thought we'd journey the picturesque path, so you might adjust progressively." As they moved through the human community, Sari and Tlexa shared looks. Children frolicked unsupervised in gardens. Adults interacted openly, embracing hands intertwined, a casual touch considered heretical back home. "These humans," Tlexa murmured in her language, "are either exceptionally credulous or shockingly innocent." Nsari observed Eli's reflection, his eyes tender as he described their future residence. This very tenderness unnerved her more than any weapon. Their banishment had only just commenced, yet Earth was already demonstrating itself to be far more perilous than anticipated. To their beings, not walls shielding their hearts. 3 weeks post-arrival, Sari observed Eli making breakfast, human term, across the kitchen. His calm, measured pace contrasted Corella's efficiency-driven rituals. A soft hum emanated as he cooked, puzzling her. "Territorial vocalization?" Tlexa questioned. "Doubtful," Sari mused. "He vocalizes contentment." The notion of expressing unadulterated joy through purposeless sound felt alien on Kella. Every action benefited the collective. Every emotion was managed for the common welfare. Yet here was Eli, humming purely out of delight. "Morning," Eli greeted gently without turning. "I've learned to avoid startling them. I brewed extra coffee if you'd care to indulge." At first, both women staunchly rejected human food, subsisting solely on their packed nutritional supplements. However, gnawing hunger relentlessly eroded their resistance, and burgeoning curiosity gradually eclipsed their initial suspicion. Nsari tentatively approached the counter. "What does coffee accomplish?" Eli's lips arched in a subtle curve, not the menacing display they had misinterpreted initially, but something far more inviting. It renders mornings marginally more tolerable. He paused. Sometimes, pleasure itself suffices as a reason. The concept was revolutionary, paradigm-shifting. On Corella, pleasure was a privilege, painstakingly earned through dedicated service, and strictly rationed like any finite resource. As Ansari savored the acrid brew, an unfamiliar lightness bloomed within her, defying description. That night, a tempest engulfed the valley. The initial thunderclap jolted them into a protective stance, backs to the walls, eyes alert for danger. On their planet, storms meant acidic downpours and electrical surges. Eli discovered them huddled in the corridor, quivering despite their composed facades. "It's merely water," he reassured softly, sitting close by, but respecting their space. "Earth's storms are largely benign." As lightning fractured the night, illuminating the windows, Tlexa recoiled instinctively. Eli's hand moved to comfort, then paused, suspended in the air. "Would you permit me?" he inquired gently, his question startling them both. "Consent to touch?" The notion felt foreign, yet strangely reassuring. After a breath, Tlexa acquiesced with a nod. Eli's hand rested, a warm, unwavering presence on her shoulder. No aggression, no coercion, only gentle reassurance. Witnessing her sister's breath ease, Sari found herself drawn nearer. "Among your people," Ansari murmured, "do you invariably seek permission before physical contact?" Absolutely," Eli responded. "Touch should be a cherished gift, never a forceful demand." As the tempest roared, a profound shift occurred between them. For the first time since their arrival, the Corellan women started perceiving strength and tenderness as harmonious, not contradictory. After 2 months of exile, comforting routines emerged like gentle streams sculpting stone. Mornings commenced with Eli's melodic humming and robust coffee, while evenings concluded with what he termed decompression time, precious moments of tranquil conversation, previously unimaginable back on Kella. "Share your stories with me." "This world," Eli mused one evening, perched on the rooftop, legs swinging above, Earth's moon painting the valley silver. "It's ruthlessly efficient," Tlexa responded, almost startling herself. "Everything is geared towards the collective good. Our cities boast flawless geometric designs, our lives meticulously planned from beginning to end." "Sounds profoundly lonely," Eli remarked, devoid of judgment. A laugh tinged with acrimony echoed. "Loneliness is a selfish malady, weakening the entire collective." "Who instilled that belief in you?" The direct query lingered, suspended in the stillness. Neither woman had contemplated that their core tenets might be learned constructs, not immutable universal truths. The Ansari counselor eventually conceded, "The matriarchs, without exception." "And what are your thoughts?" Eli inquired, facing them squarely. "Disregard what you were indoctrinated with, what resonates within you." The term "feel" still evoked unease in both, but cocooned in the darkness, with starlight mirrored in Eli's gaze, authenticity prevailed. "Safer, I presume?" Tlexa started cautiously. "Perhaps we've been deceived." It marked the initial instance of either expressing uncertainty about their past. Eli didn't revel or press further. He just nodded, indicating a constellation. "That's Cassia. Humans craft narratives around the configurations we perceive." As he spoke, his hand sketched the constellation's outline, subtly grazing Saria's fingers. She didn't recoil. The contact was comforting, tender, unlike any Corellan touch. "Not on Corella," she murmured. "We possess more than mere reports or factual accounts. Narratives ignite our understanding of emotions," Eli articulated, his thumb gently caressing her knuckles in a profoundly tender gesture that stirred a deep ache within her. "They embody our humanity." "And what do they create for us?" Telexa inquired, inching closer until their shoulders intimately brushed. Eli's gaze shifted between these exquisitely wounded women, indoctrinated to perceive their hearts as vulnerabilities to conquer. His own heart, bearing the imprints of prior betrayals, acknowledged their cautious bravery. "They liberate you," he whispered softly as they descended from the rooftop moments later. Telexa nearly tripped on the ladder. Eli's arms encircled her waist, preventing a fall. Briefly, they stood motionless, bodies aligned, breaths mirroring. "Thanks," she whispered, lingering instead of retreating. Witnessing this, Sari felt a novel sensation stir within her. Not the anticipated envy, but a comforting warmth, a joy for her sister, and a yearning for that same tender support. That night, each sister remained sleepless in her own room, contemplating intimacy, agency, and the thrillingly perilous liberty of desire. The pivotal moment arrived amidst Zaria's debilitating fever. What should have been a fleeting ailment instead ravaged her Corellan biology, plunging her into delirium and scorching heat. Eli remained vigilantly at her side for 3 relentless days, tenderly cooling her skin with damp cloths and murmuring calming reassurances. As nightmares racked her, she cried out, "Why?" During a brief, lucid interval, she seized his wrist as he reached for her water glass, her voice a mere whisper. "Why do you care for me?" Eli's eyes were bloodshot from exhaustion, yet his voice resonated with unwavering conviction. "Because your existence holds immense value, and it's not predicated on your capabilities. Not do or provide, but connect because of your unique being." This notion was so novel that Insari's eyes welled with her first tears since youth. Eli didn't interrupt her emotions or question her feelings. Instead, he held her hand as she mourned a lifetime spent believing her worth solely depended on her genetic gifts. Once the fever subsided, Sari discovered Telexa huddled in the chair next to her bed, steadfastly refusing to leave her sister's presence. Eli had dozed off on the floor, his hand protectively near her ankle. He remained vigil over Alexa. Murmured 3 agonizing days crawled by, yet he remained steadfast, his unwavering care igniting a profound shift in perception. Simple gestures, Eli meticulously monitoring her temperature, lending a steadying hand as she found her footing, his gaze intensely analyzing her slightest falter, sent exhilarating shivers through Nanzaria. She observed him anew, captivated by the tenderness etched onto his powerful hands, the enduring patience illuminating his weary smile. One twilight, as autumn splashed the landscape with breathtaking hues, Telexa discovered a secluded moment with Eli in the kitchen, the comfortable quiet now thrumming with an unspoken energy. "Sari was absolutely right in placing her trust in you," she remarked abruptly. Eli glanced up from the greens he was slicing. "Indeed, you might have allowed Kella's fever to simply burn itself out. Vulnerability is purged, not coddled." Telexa approached, scrutinizing his features. Yet you championed her as if she were invaluable. She is invaluable, Eli stated plainly. As are you. Their unspoken words lingered, a fragile bridge neither dared to traverse. Texa breathed, her fingers ghosting over his cheek. Might I? She murmured, mirroring his storm-swept query. His almost imperceptible nod unleashed her touch. Her palm met his skin, sending shivers through them both. The initial kiss was a delicate inquiry, not an assertive claim. But as Eli's embrace tightened, Texa unearthed a truth. Desire wasn't the shameful frailty she'd been led to believe. Nasari discovered them intertwined, embraced, witnessing the serene affection. A profound yearning for belonging stirred. She approached, voice barely audible. May I join? A tender reply. Always. That night unveiled the exquisite gentleness of intimacy, the shared joy of pleasure, the symphony of three hearts beating as one, yet distinct. Cradled in Eli's embrace, amidst tender whispers and reverent touch, they discovered the true meaning of being cherished, utterly adored. Their joy blossomed, but it was heartbreak and sorrow heralded crushing news. Earth envoys had landed, bearing immediate recall decrees. The council craved their exile's return. Government agents sat rigidly in Eli's abode, their crisp attire a jarring shift from the intimate haven it had become. Commander Torres, a formidable woman with frosted hair, laid out papers on the table. The Corellan Council has reassessed your verdicts, she declared. They're keen to restore your rights and rank, contingent on your assistance going forward. 6 months prior, diplomatic ties between Ansari and Tlexa sparked a flicker of hope. Reinstatement in Kella, restoring status, validation of their rebellion. It was their ultimate desire. The snag? Tlexa queried, skeptical. None. Exile honed wisdom for both races, the council declared. Your grasp of human culture is invaluable. The unspoken truth loomed. Ambassadors, their earthly experiences distilled to mere strategy. Their evolved capacity for love deemed a convenient flaw. Leverage upcoming talks, and should we decline, Nasaria's tone remained composed. Commander Torres's face steeled. Rejection signifies eternal banishment, a complete severance from Kella. You'll be rendered stateless, utterly reliant on Earth's benevolence indefinitely. Once the diplomats departed, an oppressive quiet descended. Eli, fixated on his hands, visibly wrestled with inner turmoil. He then declared, "You both must return." The women turned, astonished. This is your opportunity to seize it all. Your planet, your prestige, your destiny. His words were steady, but his eyes hinted at deeper suffering. I refuse to be the catalyst for your downfall, Nasari retorted sharply, fury igniting in her violet gaze. Do you underestimate our discernment? Our collective creation? I fear I cherish you both excessively. To confine you, Eli responded softly. Tlexa joined him, tenderly cupping his face. You magnificent, naive soul. Don't you realize Corella wasn't ever truly home, merely our birthplace home? Nasari emphasized. Nestled close beside him is where you're embraced, not for your offerings, but for your essence. The decision upon arrival, integration proved unexpectedly smoother. Jointly seeking asylum, they formally petitioned for permanent residence on Earth. The bureaucratic process stretched for months, culminating in 3 pivotal documents: Refugee status granted. A year later, they stood within a repurposed barn, now the Interspecies Cultural Center, a haven for exiled beings pursuing fresh starts. Nari orchestrated enriching educational initiatives. Tlexa provided compassionate counseling, and Eli broadened his pedagogical reach to encompass students from a diverse array of 12 species. Any lingering regrets about diverging paths, Eli? Ansari snuggled closer, Tlexa resting her head on his shoulder as they embraced the twilight vista. Leaving a planet that commodified us for motherhood, for one where our intellect and souls resonate? Absolutely not. Tlexa smiled knowingly. The Council did get something right. Earth offered a valuable lesson. We discovered love isn't vulnerability, but the universe's paramount force. As darkness deepened, stars bloomed above, mirroring the constellations Eli had unveiled. A shared realization resonated within them. They'd discovered a treasure worth defending, the exhilarating liberty to forge their collective happiness.